Congratulations on successfully reaching Rick. Alright, y'all. Rub a dub. Rubbing a dub. Thank you for successfully reaching me. Glad to see all you new faces out there. Awesome. We got an action-packed show. It's a pretty awesome thing, and it's real easy to do. And it goes a little something like this. Hit it. Story number one. Story number one is all about my brand new, top of the line, favorite superheroes there is out there. And I'm not talking about all those people out in Seattle dressing up like superheroes. There's no need for those people when you got the likes of Anonymous to come and really take care of the problem. And the real problem that a lot of people like myself have been facing is this new bill that is about to be passed, or at least trying to be implemented. It goes by the name of SOPA. The internet should be a place for freedom. So to take away the internet freedom is like taking our last vessel of freedom. Almost like our life raft, in case you are bored. And people like me, who love the internet just the way it is, would love to keep it that way. And so does Anonymous, apparently, who, as you might already know, after a noteworthy lack of action during the whole SOPA blackout on the 18th, which was Wednesday that just passed of this week, it seems like Anonymous is springing back to action in response to the federal takedown of Mega Upload and the subsequent arrest and likely extradition of Kim.com. Just hours after the news broke that the federal government has taken down Mega Upload, alongside an indictment of piracy charges, Universal.com and Justice.gov have gone down, and a prominent anonymous affiliate Twitter account is claiming responsibility. But what I can let you know is that they also took down RIAA, which is an acronym for the Recording Industry Association of America. They also took down RIAA.org. They weren't done there because, believe it or not, they got to even more websites. The Motion Picture Association of America, or MPAA.org, that was taken down. There was a lot of superhero activism going on. And I love it. I really just love it. I love the fact that these people aren't asking for acclaim. They're not in the spotlight doing interviews. They are by far some very advanced and gifted people. Story number two. As you can see, it's an election year. Seems like Newt Gingrich's past has come out of the woodworks. All those bones and dirty skeletons that he's been hiding in his closet are just tumbling out like Niagara Falls. And you know what? I'm pretty sure it's going to hurt him in the polls. Because guess who? His second wife, Marianne Gingrich, is making the allegation that the reason why their relationship hit such a rocky road was because Mr. Gingrich, who, by the way, gave a hell of a lot of problems for Mr. Bill Clinton during the whole Lewinsky affair in the Oval Office, was asking his second wife for a loving and very, very wholesome Catholic open marriage. And yes, that was sarcasm. You see, a lot of Catholics seem to have a problem with all this wife swapping, to swinger parties, to basically falling asleep beside a person you might not have a commitment with. I'm pretty sure there's nowhere in the Bible that talks about thou shalt have sex with as many partners as possible. But lo and behold, the man with the Phil Donahue hair, and pretty much looks like a Lego figurine with his hair like that, has gone out of his way to be a total and absolute hypocrite. Thankfully, Jackie Gingrich Cushman and her sister, Kathy Gingrich Lubers, who he actually had 2 daughters from his first marriage, and by the way, he's on his 3rd, have come to bat for good old Papa by saying, you know what, and I'm paraphrasing here, these events happened such a long time ago, and a lot of emotion was mixed in, and there could be possible events that some details are lacking due to the time that has actually passed. And it's quite possible that good old Marianne might resent all this popularity that Gingrich has been obtaining, and maybe just a little jealous. But really, just how spiteful could this Marianne be? She seems like a very stand-up, shoot-from-the-hip type person. They can't, well, I'm pretty sure they can basically talk out of the side of their face like Mr. Mitt Romney, who's pretty much willing to tell you just about anything you want to hear. He probably has the moral standards that a douchebag would probably have. Getting knocked down a peg by being found out that, in actuality, that 8-vote win that he had in Iowa isn't quite what it's cracked up to be. In fact, it finds out that he actually lost by 26 votes. Now, the reason why I call him a douchebag is because instead of conceding the fact that he lost and congratulating Mr. Rick Santorum for the victory, what does Mitt Romney do? He pretty much declares it a tie. Yes, a tie. Now, what pisses me off about this is the fact that when you win by 8 votes, you're not declaring a tie. Oh, heavens no. But when you lose by 26 votes, it's pretty much a tie. Mitt Romney sure has to step up his game. Now, before I get off topic and stop talking about Mr. Gingrich, have you seen his aide and third wife, Calista Bisek? I'm telling you, this woman, if she ever held a Tea Party little rally at her house, I would be there for tea and crumpets. Actually, I would order seconds. Newt is somewhere like right about here. Calista Bisek, yeah, right about there. I gotta hand it to you. You're boning a pretty hot girl. And by all means, it comes to make me wonder, maybe it's an open relationship, because Calista, would you be satisfied just seeing that guy naked for the remainder of your life? I don't think so. But back on to more serious topics. Mr. Rick Perry, a very prominent favorite before the whole GOP race began, has dropped out. He didn't even actually suspend his race. He just dropped out. What a quitter. But instead, I guess he's all about the putting the keys inside the hat and just passing it around. He likes to go with an open relationship that he has with Mr. Newt Gingrich. In fact, he's endorsing Mr. Gingrich. I guess he stands behind the Mormon belief of getting as much poon before you die. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's not a Mormon belief. Sorry! I just want to say, Mark Wahlberg, you are our Goomba of the episode. Yes, Mark, you've done it again. I know last episode I was bashing you on how crappy you basically talk to a camera or read off a teleprompter. But today, I decided to give you a little bit of a break, and I'm just going to bash you because you wanted to sound like the coolest parent ever. Yeah, I am #1 dad of all time. Not so, Mr. Wahlberger. In fact, I have to admit, you're a douchebag. Mark Wahlberg was actually scheduled on September 11th of 2001 to be in one of the planes that was actually crashed into the World Trade Center. Now, I guess it took him 11 years to really talk about this, or he just wants to seem like the most coolest dad there possibly is. But he basically said, and I'm summarizing, if he was on that plane, he would have basically went up to the terrorist and talked to them, and they would have been like, oh, yeah, no problem. I'll land this plane safely. Like he's just supposed to knock onto the cockpit door, throw some movie punches, maybe give him that stare where it's like his eyebrow gets all ruffled and all those freaking worry marks on his head pop up. That plane wouldn't have crashed into the World Trade Center because he's a good dad and he wouldn't let his kids be in danger. More or less making it sound like every other member that was on that plane and tragically died during the events wasn't capable of being a man enough. But believe me, the damage is done, Mark. Now, I just want to make sure you understand, it's real life here. There is no cut, and there is no action stuntman to jump in to take the blows, just in case those terrorists want to chop up your infidel burger ass to tiny little pieces. I hate to leave it on such a very, very rough note, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Thank you for tuning in. It's been great having you. As always, you've been doing it with the best. Keep on rocking in the free world while it's still free.